Hi guys, let's do something a bit different. Let's do another clothing review. Okay, please excuse the view. This is not meant to be a look at my crotch demonstration in this case. It's more look at the trousers that I'm wearing. And it's a little awkward to figure out angles in this regard to show these beauties off. Now this is actually a pair from Craghoppers. These are outdoor trousers, they're meant for hiking, and these are actually a few years old. They're made out of quick dry material. I've actually got 3 pairs. One pair which is very similar to this but lacks a certain feature that this does have, and there's another pair that is a completely different design but shares certain similar features. Obviously they have pockets, nice deep pockets as you can see here. Let's just show you how deep. Look, I can get everything up past the wrist into these pockets, and that's even considering the fact that I've got my wallet in here. Nice. We have... Never thought I'd be doing that on camera. We have 2 back pockets here which have zips. Okay. Again, fairly deep. And they make nice noises when they actually zip up. We also have a side pocket on this leg, but not on this leg. Now on this leg, you've got a bit of Velcro, and I've got my phone. It's also got a small little inner pocket here, which I used to fit a much smaller phone that I had at the time. I think I can just about force this larger phone in, but not always. Doesn't want to go in. That's what she said. But in general, you know, that works quite nicely for storing things, you know, in there. It would help if there was another one on this side, and I did have another pair of trousers that was almost identical in all regards, both the colour and the fact that it had a side pocket on. Now, that other pair basically got damaged, and I might bring those on in some of the video in future just to show you what happened to them, and also test something else out that I've got an idea or two about. But what's the main feature about these particular trousers? Well, you might have noticed that there's this seam here. It's actually hiding the fact that there's another zip, because once you unzip, you can basically throw these away, or rather keep them stored somewhere handy, because these become shorts. See, legs and trousers, legs and shorts. What are you gonna do? Yeah, so if you are basically wanting to sun your legs, if it's a nice sunny day out there, then yes, you can do exactly that. Okay, they're also designed quite specifically to show you which one's which. You can't mix these up that much. Well, you could, but you'd feel a bit silly when you look at it later. Putting them back on, it's fairly easy in theory. I don't take these off much, so excuse the fumbling. You just gotta find the other end of the zip. And you'd usually be doing this when you sat down, not standing up or so on and so forth. And there you go, easy as that, he said after a few minutes of fumbling because of the awkward position that he's put himself in. Now, there's also the belt, and the belt is a separate edition that I got myself around the same time I got the trousers, because the trousers came with a very cheap looking material with a plastic belt buckle, and I did not like the look of it one bit. In fact, all the trousers that I got at the same time, I bought 4 pairs, which I've already described, came with the same thing, and I decided to go for something that looked a bit more hard wearing, a bit more the part of the outdoors adventure type thing, and you've got obviously this belt buckle. I bought 2 of these, and this is the one that bust, and still does the job quite nicely. I bought 2 different coloured belts, this green one and one that was a lighter tan colour, and they've got very similar designs here. This material here basically fits on top of this section here and here, and the brake has came here. The metal has just basically worn away after years of use. Okay, now these belts still work quite well in the semi-broken state. I mean, if I got some welding materials, maybe I could put it back together, but you can see where the breaks have happened. And the other belt is still in perfect working order. So, overall, I can heartily recommend both these particular belts and these particular trousers because they do the trick quite nicely. They're made out of quick dry material, so if you're out and about and you get wet, they will dry out very quickly, unaided. However, they lack any real waterproof material in their own right, so if it's absolutely torrential rain, yes, your legs are going to get wet, so it might be best to have some sort of protective overgarment on, which you can get as well. But they provide ample protection against things like stinging nettles, bushes that you might get your legs caught against when you're rambling through the countryside. The only thing they're not particularly good against is if you fall over. A friend of mine who's got a very similar pair had to throw his out because unfortunately he fell over when he was walking around on a street and fell somehow into a drain, or at least into a gutter. And unfortunately the metal in the gutter actually cut the material. It might have more to do with the kind of gutter he fell into, and it might also have something to do with whatever he was doing at the time recreationally. Glug, glug, glug. But who knows? I certainly don't know the full details. I wasn't there, I'm just reporting it third hand. But they're good quality. They are very strong. They're not going to break on you easily. If there's anything I don't like, it's that in the crotch they do tend to ride a little. Okay? So you don't get necessarily the full range of motion. Just to give you a little demonstration here. Let's say I'm wanting to step up a bit. Absolutely fine in its own right. But let's think that I'm trying to get up a mountain, or up a hill at the very least. As you try to lift your legs up, you can sort of feel the material restricting around here. And same on this side as well, and that's the side that doesn't have the wallet in. Okay. In some cases, if you end up overextending yourself as you're pushing down, you will feel the material, unfortunately, going here. Yeah, so unfortunately, one of my pairs of trousers had a very nasty split. Not this pair. The other pair I'm busy getting fixed. The stitching is pretty good, but it could be just a bit better. Now the thing about Craghoppers is they did have an endorsement deal a few years ago with Bear Grylls, and he basically recommended a very similar pair of trousers, but a much more robust pair, I assume. They had black knee pad type things on, and certain of the areas were covered in black as well, which must have provided some extra level of protection. But in any case, I don't know if that endorsement is still going, but those were more expensive, and I think they might have had more robustness to them because they're supposed to be endorsed by Bear Grylls, and he likes his outdoor adventure to add a whole different level to anybody else likes their outdoor adventure. But these were the cheaper pair, and perhaps that's reflected in the stitching, perhaps that's reflected in how the crotch doesn't always move as well as I would like it to, or perhaps it's just the fact that I've had them for a few years and I have put on about 15 pounds more than I would really like to be weighing in at the moment. Don't worry, I'm on a diet and I'll let you know if that has any effect. From the point of view of the fact that I have had them for so many years, about 6 or 7 now that I think about it, and they've lasted this long and only 2 pairs have actually had any damage that have required restitching, yeah, I can recommend these if they're still available. If you can find them and you're on a budget, get them. They are good. You know, I'm looking in the viewfinder, this is looking more and more like Talk to the Crotch.